My name is Michael Carrigan, and I would like to nominate myself for the What's in Your Box. I was actually supposed to have my instructor who was going to nominate me as well, but his schedule has gotten completely crazy. I think he's still going to attempt to get y'all a letter. I'm not sure if he does or he will or will not. And if that doesn't qualify me, then, well, at least I had fun making this video. So, let me tell you a little bit about myself first. I know I've been on the YouTube Machinist, and I've kind of introduced myself there, but I am a 17-year veteran of the United States Army. I'm actually being medically discharged as we speak. That's why this whole video production is not as nice as I wanted it to, because life has caught up with me, and I am on my way getting out much quicker than I thought. I thought I still had a couple more months, thought I had everything planned out, but when the Army says, you're done, you're done. The Army is the easiest thing in the world to get into if you're qualified. That's the hardest thing to get out of once they got you. So everything, my last year has actually been really great, but really rough. 17-year veteran. I will actually get out on my 17-year anniversary, which will also be Veterans Day. It will be the last day I wear my uniform. I'll still be officially in the military until the 10th of January, but that's because they let us take our vacation time and everything. So I got into machining because I've always had an interest in metal. I've always played with magnets, carried something around with me, sawed on, beat on, whatever. I always had fun. When I joined the military, I tried to become either a welder or a machinist, but those jobs are really hard to get into. And I'm actually kind of glad I didn't, because the promotion rate in those jobs are really bad. But I got into something a little obscure that not a lot of people know we do, is mortuary affairs. I know some people are like, what is that? And we're at logistics. We make sure that our fallen soldiers get back home to their family. That's the brief and short of it. There's no reason to go into too much more detail about it. But I knew in the late 2015 that I would be getting out of the military soon. And a friend of mine had just gone to a machining program that was done here in Virginia, put on by an organization called CCAM. They're a conglomeration that tries to better machining skills in Virginia. And they put together a program with Fort Lee, where I'm stationed at, one of the local colleges, the Department of Labor, so that we could do the military soldiers could do a 5-month intensive machinist program on their way out the door, so that we would have a leg up in getting a machinist job once we were out. The program was based around the NIMS, National Institute of Metalworking Skills, around their certifications. And the course focuses on 4 certifications: the measurement material and safety, the job work, I know I'm not saying these all exactly right, bench work, planning, and layout is the second one, and then CNC mill operator and CNC lathe operator, just to try to give you some sort of advance, some sort of leg up over just a kid coming right out of high school to get into machine jobs. You're not limited to just those 4, and yeah, I'm going to toot my own horn. I was the first person to achieve 6 certifications in the course, and I was not the only one to get 6. I was the first to get 6, but I was been the only person to actually achieve 8 certifications in that 5-month course. Does that make me a machinist? No. I know there's still a lot more I have to learn, but you know, it gets me in the door. And it actually did help. It did get me into a couple of doors, and I'll get there in a second. So I did the 5-month program. My separation date from the Army changed, hence my stress, and so I was left in the military a little bit longer. I didn't want my skills to go to waste. I wanted to keep building upon those skills. A couple of the local machine shops had some interest in me because of the number of certifications I was able to achieve. So I struck a deal between my command at my unit and one of the machine shops, and 3 days a week I did an internship with one of the largest machine shops in the Richmond area. And that has been outstanding. I didn't really get a lot of the programming in on the CNC work, but I did still get a lot of the hands-on setups and teardowns of the machine, some of the really important basic stuff, some very intricate stuff about finding all your coordinates in odd places and things like that. and just got to spend a lot of time with their lead machinist, and it was really great. I also got to learn a lot about deburring. I'll cut to a little video to let you see some of the deburring work we did, because they had a bad run of an issue with some parts, very high tolerance parts that were actually going to the turbine engines of an M1 Abrams tank. I don't know how many of you know that most modern tanks use turbine jet engines as opposed to, regular diesel engines. But the only thing is they don't have that flame shooting out the back like the Batmobile does. I hadn't figured that one out. But anyway, high tolerance parts, tiny microscopic deburrs that you could only really feel with your fingernail. And so the last 3 weeks of that internship, did a lot of deburring on that stainless steel. But again, lesson learned. So that being said, I'm moving to the Charlotte, North Carolina area. I went ahead and reached out to a lot of companies, got my foot into the door because of what I know and what my skills and my leadership abilities in the Army. And I do have a job now. I'll probably start the first week of December, because all of November is just going to be getting moved. It's just going to be crazy. But anyway, so I'll start with a machine shop. They've got 16 CNC machines right now, lathe and mills, and they're getting 2 more. Will be there once I get there. So I'm extremely excited and looking forward to that. So about my nomination, why am I worthy? I don't really know how to determine my own worthiness. I can tell you what I do, what I will do, and what I will always do is I will do everything in my power to take care of my family. Whatever I have to do for work-wise, I will do that. And a lot of the things that I learned as a soldier translate over to that is I will always be there. I will always be on time. I will always put my best foot forward, work as a team, work alone if I need to. And I will do, as long as I feel like the company has my interests at heart, I will always, that company will always be my number one, well, my number 2 priority. My family's number 1 priority. But they will always know that I will be dedicated to them, to making sure the job gets done. I'm not going to throw the veterans card or the disabled veterans card. I joined the military because I wanted to join the military, and I don't think that makes me worthy. I think the skills that I learned as a soldier does translate into my worthiness and how much I'm going to do to make sure that not only do I contribute to my company and learn as a machinist, but I also contribute to other people. I've already tried to help out and encourage some of my fellow soldiers to get into the same machinist program. I've already helped out a lot of them in their tips and tricks. I'm hoping in my 2 weeks of getting out of here, I've got a really close friend who's going to be starting that program. And so I'm going to try to get down to the school at least once or twice and hang out with him and the instructor and help him get started too, because I want to see him really succeed. He's been a really good friend, a really great soldier. So some of the things that I have done, I've worked on some of my tools. Some of y'all has actually seen this on the YouTube Machinist channel, or YouTube Machinist Facebook page. It was my beautiful machinist hammer. Now I know everyone gets around to doing these once in their career, but I really had a lot of fun. I learned a lot. I did a lot of this on CNC and manual lathe. I crashed the CNC lathe. Left-handed turning tool really threw me off, but we pulled it off, or I pulled it off. I didn't kill the machine totally. I learned. The teacher showed me what I need to do to make sure that the machine is still within tolerances and everything. So, another skill learned, crashing a machine. Made a set of beautiful 1, 2, 3 blocks. They're still out for heat treat. And I've just really had a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed what I'm doing, and I hope that I continue to enjoy as I make a career out of it. But how do I determine my worthiness? I know I'm a good guy. I know I put my best foot forward. I know I care about others. I know I care about my family. And I know that I'm going to succeed in this career field. I will say that, I'm being in this internship and everything, I've already got a few tools. I don't have a full toolbox, but I've got 6-inch calipers. I've done some eBay work. I've got a couple of thousand or hundredths or thousandths micrometers. Still get tenths, thousandths, hundredths, all that. So I've got a few. I've got from 0 to 4 in thousandths micrometers. I did eBay a 0 to 1 10 thousandths Mitsui digital. It works, but I think I know why they were selling it, because it seems to be eating batteries, but you know, it does the job. Basic hand tools, stuff like that. So I will say I do have some tools. I'm not in desperate need for tools. I certainly do need to fill out my toolbox more. I do believe the company I'm going to work for is providing some tools. So anything that I get, I will certainly use, and anything I don't use, I will certainly pass back along to anybody that needs it. I hope that I'll be able to contribute some to the YouTube, Facebook page as my skills increase. I don't know how much time at work I'll be allowed to do. I think they call it government work, when you do a little work for yourself. A couple of projects I'd like to do, and eventually I would like to get a little manual mill and lathe for my house to do some work. So I'm going to try to cut a couple of the clips of some of the things I've done. One of the big things I did that I really enjoyed was my wrench that I made for the school. We had a whole bunch of manual mills, and we had the kits and everything to convert them to pneumatic drawbars. The only thing is they didn't have the airlines laid out. So we are still waiting for that, but of course, as students are, they messed up the threads on some drawbars, not removing their tools correctly. So we had 3 mills that were down, 3 manual mills down. And the teacher came to me, because at this point in time, he and I were already getting pretty close. And he said, well, what about a custom wrench use the drawbars from the pneumatic set that have kind of a star head on the top of them? Make a custom wrench instead of buying new drawbars that we're going to replace in a couple of weeks anyway with the drawbars that we already had there available to us. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I started thinking manual mill. He's like, use it for your CNC project. Think about the CNC, plan it out. You know, I'll help you. You're going to need a little trig. And so I did. So this is Mike right now, and I am doing one of my very first parts. I'm doing my wrench. And we've already done the drill cycle. So let's see here. I don't know if you can see the little holes. And we're warming up the spindle for a little 4mm end mill cleanup of the holes. And so I'll show you the part when I get done. Okay, so we got success on the actual wrench part. This is what we're cutting, is a specialty wrench for this part right here. And so far, everything worked out for that. It's a little loose, but the 4mm end mill was what we had, and it was just a squeak too long, but I think it'll work. What scares me is the next part. When we're going to actually cut out the wrench head, we're going to circle around here and cut out a wrench head. The rest of this will be manually milled, but I'm really scared because this 7 3/4 end mill is going to come and go right here, dip in and circle around, come up and over, dip back in, and I'm really scared that I left the right around the room right here. So I'll come back in just a few minutes and we'll see where we go. So we pretty much got the wrench done. We're going to play around a little bit. He's going to show me how to do it with an end mill instead of the carbide that we used. So there you go. That's it. Now it's going to be a lot of hand milling just to face all the rest of that off. But yeah, we're going to try this guy. He's going to show me the difference using the side milling versus the face milling with the carbide. Need power feed. Arm's gonna give out.
Another 50. Get back in gear. And we're back at it again. So the wrench is taking shape. My little hole, my little star pattern in there is actually a little wider than what it should have been. So my instructor said leave it full thickness in case we need to do it again, and we can just re-drill it here and make the corrections that we need to on the thickness. So it's going to be a very heavy wrench. I'm actually going to load it up in a 4-jaw, and we're going to not make it round circle, but we're going to knock the edges off pretty good on it. So that'll be the next step.
So I wanted to make a much more elaborate production of this. I wanted to go into more detail. I wanted to script this out, have somebody with some cue cards behind me flipping through to make sure that I said everything I needed to say. But I'm packing up my house. I should turn the camera around and let you see what my house looks like right now. My wife and son are at a little play date right now, letting him burn some energy off. My 4-year-old, he is a great kid, but he is non-stop. If you don't take him outside somewhere every day, you're going to pay for it at the end of the day. But I love my little guy, and he really is everything. Everything I do now is for him. I had him a little bit later in life. I'm 43 now. He's about to turn 5. And that really is my goal in life more than anything, is to make sure that he is raised up to be a good man, understand the value of a dollar, understand that you do have to work for what you want. No one's going to give it to you. And I think if I can just do that, he's respectful of others, but he's strong enough to stand up for himself, strong enough to take care of himself, and take care of his family. I think I will have succeeded in life. What's going? And then you can do this.
What does that handle do?
Well, this does the side to side.
This one's got the box.
Gold thing right in the middle, it's cutting that metal. It's making a shape.
What kind of shape?
Well, it's a shape that's on a drawing over here.
What does that green light mean?
That means
So anyway, I really appreciate the chance. I hope I'm able to be qualified without a co-nominee. Again, like my teacher might be able to get something knocked out, but he is just covered up. His machine shop really does kind of cover that, carry the campus that he works at through the Department of Labor, sending soldiers there. And the Department of Labor also is not just sending soldiers there now. They're sending other civilians there. And I put this out to everybody. If you're stuck in a job that you're not happy with, it's a low-paying, low-skilled job, there are agencies out there that will pay for you to get skilled labor jobs. And it doesn't have to be skilled labor, but high-demand jobs. I have a friend that's using the Department of Labor to pay for certifications in computer skills. So there's no excuse why anybody's sitting out there crying about the jobs not being there, because there are people that will pay for you to go to these schools. The program that we started, the program that CCAM started here at the college near the base where I'm at, starting one over in Norfolk now. There's someone else starting it in the Fort Campbell, Kentucky area. But it's not just that. It doesn't have to be anything about the military. What it is, the Department of Labor, WIOA, WIOA, is there. If you're in a low-skilled, low-paying job, they will help you get the training to go into high-demand jobs, whether it be machining, welding, power lines, computers, everything's out there. So if you think that there's no one there to help you, there is. So hopefully my micro speech to help get more people out there. So anyway, again, thank you for everything. I love the content that y'all put out. I've learned so much. I learned so much before I even started my course by watching all of y'all's YouTube channels. My whole deployment of 2015. Adam Booth, Keith Fenner, all y'all, I watched all your stuff, so I knew what I was getting into when I even started the course. Before I even knew I was taking the course, I was watching y'all. So I really do appreciate it. Thank y'all for everything.
That stuff's a bitch to work with.
If you're really quiet, you can hear the machine shop fairies.